What is culture? Well, that is a good premise on which to make a video. Culture has been around for a long time. If you've ever read a book, you've experienced culture. In fact, I think you got a little culture on your shirt right there. Or maybe you looked at some art you didn't understand and, actually kind of smells like culture. Did you step in something? Or maybe you had Chinese takeout and only used like 1 packet of soy sauce. Whoa, careful with the culture, man. That thing's loaded. Culture is defined as things that your ancestors made, did, or ate that when you move to another country, people will buy from you. The word culture is the technical name of a group of bacteria. Kind of like a pride of lions, or a sloth of bears, or a wrath of giraffes, or as we like to say in the industry, a giraffe. So nowadays we call it culture because all the good, interesting stuff was made way back when people were old and dirty and covered in what class? Cultures of bacteria. Very good. But with the invention of bathing and the lack of anything good being made in the past 80 years, experts debated using a word other than culture on the grounds that modernity had done away with the universal blanket of dirt that formerly defined all of culture. However, this debate ended in April 5th of 2011 with scientists citing the release of Nicki Minaj's Super Bass as clinching proof that although modern culture was no longer physically covered in filth, it had become indistinguishable from a disease-covered, festering pile of garbage, deserving the name culture more than ever before. So what does it take to have culture? Asked Alec, because organic transitions are hard. Well, all it takes is just a group of people. Remember, culture isn't just food and paintings, it's the way people act, too. Like when your family has an argument about where to go for dinner and nobody wants to say what they really want to do, so they end up just shooting down each other's suggestions until the only thing left is this place that only your mom wanted to go to. That's the culture of your family. Or like when none of your coworkers want to do their job because they're all too busy sitting around talking about the other coworkers who don't want to do their job, so nothing gets done and then you end up having to do everything. That's the culture of your work. Or rule of threes, when you invite all your lame friends over for a dumb holiday party and they all say they'll get back to you, but now you don't know how much guacamole to make, and avocados aren't cheap, okay? And you don't want to make too much guacamole because then you'll just get that brown layer on the top, and nobody wants that. That's the culture of your terrible flaky friend group. I'm just kidding about that last one. My friends don't do that. Right, guys? Nope. The gang's all here. Whatever groups you're a part of are gonna develop their own cultures over time, and whatever group you spend the most time in is gonna end up being your defining culture. So since that basically means that Gavin and I are currently in the works of developing a rich, vibrant culture that's gonna be a defining component of who I am, I say, let's just go ahead and knock the whole thing out right now, Yeah, let's just get it done. We can just sit down and, really put some elbow grease into it, do it all in one day. Now, if we want to do this right, I think we really ought to go ahead and declare ourselves an independent city-state. Now, hear me out. We have this land, we've been blessed with this land that you see around us, and declaring ourselves a sovereign nation is the only way to ensure that liberty and prosperity fill the 12 square feet of this closet for generations to come. Well, obviously, we're going to need a name, maybe something like Stavsborg. With an OU. Okay, wow, this is really happening. Well, we've got a land, we've got a name. Now, I guess it's time to start filling in the blanks on this culture business. Just really getting specific here. Well, we're definitely gonna need a mythology. I mean, Stavsborgians weren't always the closet-inhabiting, computer-having sort of people that they are now. But unless we discover some ancient writings, I'm not sure we'll ever know exactly what the Stavsborgians used to believe way back. The ancient writings. As some crusty old scrolls tell us, the world was once a ball of water, completely devoid of life. Since Krogmar, the Make-It deity, was too busy with actual good stuff, the ball sat on a literal back burner in the cosmos. That is, until Krogmar's dog, Dogmar, came along and barked the land out of the ocean, giving this orb a rather familiar look. Then, out of hysteria, Dogmar sneezed on the orb, and in this primordial mush were all the various life forms we know and love. Later, Krogmar came to clean up the mess and said, "You know what? It is what it is," and left this mess to work itself out on its own. So next, I think we're gonna need to slap together some Stavsborgian art, music, and/or literature. The land isn't exactly brimming with natural resources, so we're definitely gonna need to export something else to the rest of the world. I mean, obviously we have art. Mayonnaise Man is like the Mona Lisa of the pen and post-it medium. And I suppose this whole thing kind of counts as literature. I mean, I type it out first. So I guess we just need music. Well, I mean, I'm not really a musician or anything, but I think I could probably whip something up something that represents the joy and the pride of the Stavsborgian. What's this Scooby-Doo? We're coming after you. We're gonna solve that mystery. I see you. Man, this culture thing is practically making itself up. I could probably just sit the rest of this out if I wanted to. Now we just need a system of governance. I know I've been reelected 3 times in a row this year. I'd just feel a lot more comfortable if there was some sort of document that outlines exactly what the role of the Stavsborgian government is. Congressional hearings aren't really what I'd like them to be. It is my turn to talk now. I have the macaroni. I listen to you, now you have to listen to me. We need something that explains what constitutes the law of our people. We could even give it a name about that. Something like the composition. Composition, that nailed it. Now I want to make sure our citizens will actually read this thing, so maybe it's best to keep it short and sweet. How about something like, take that mess outside? That works for pretty much everything. It's like a magic bullet. The rule of law in Stavsborg is pretty strict. I mean, we'll exile people for just about anything. I mean, how else are we going to make sure our children inherit a land with leg space? And there you have it. Culture in its purest, most undefiled form. Stavsborg is truly an oasis of refinement in a desert of Netflix originals and Nutella crepes. As always, this brings us to the end of the show, and we all know what that means. It's time for relationship advice from Gavin.
Hey guys, today we're going to be answering a question from one of the viewers. Let's have the letter, please. Dear Gavin, I've been married to someone for 8 months, and I'm worried that I'm starting to fall out of love with him. What should I do? Signed, Katie from Kenosha. Well, Katie, here's the hard truth about love. Sometimes it's work. It's not always all fun and games. You know, sometimes he's gonna get mad, and then sometimes you're gonna get mad, and he's not gonna know why. And you're just gonna have to work it out. You know, love is sometimes hard. Sometimes it's more about a decision, and it's not just about how you feel. You know, love is about the decision to put someone else's needs ahead of yours, and that's the key to love. So I hope that helps. Thanks for the question, Katie. And as always, if you have a question about love, you can send it to gavintherealbirdquestions@gmail.com, or you can post a comment below. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.